Those are the United States, Mexico, Honduras, Panama, Cuba, and Guatemala. And everybody else, the 31 nations plus Jamaica here, 30 nations plus Jamaica and Bonaire taking part in this game, they have to qualify to get there, and the only way to do that is to win your group. And so it is an unforgiving path, and Jamaica, even as the heavy group favorites, they know that they don't have any room for mistakes. There's no best runner-up spot available, so the margin for error is small. So Jamaica will hope to get through this first match in healthy shape, and they will hope to be on top of this group at the end of this one. If they win by anything more than a goal, then they would top the group after one round of matches on goal differential. Again, 2-1 victories for Puerto Rico and for Turks and Caicos Islands earlier today, so they're both +1, obviously, and it would be a chance for Jamaica to go above them with any kind of larger win. But Bonaire, although they are the lowest seeded side in this group, they have some real talent. An island nation with connection to Holland, and so they have a few players who are playing at Dutch academies. Of course, we've seen that rich Dutch diaspora paying real dividends in the Dutch Caribbean over the last handful of years, with Curacao, of course, who are hosting this group, qualifying for the World Cup for the first time ever as they've been able to tap into that rich diaspora. Suriname as well got to within one win of the World Cup and still could qualify through the Intercontinental Playoff later in March if they can win 2 matches there. So it has been a big part of the growth of Concacaf and the growth and depth of so many programs in this region, the ability to tap into their wider talent diaspora. And in the case of Bonaire, it's that connection with the Kingdom of the Netherlands that has allowed them to bring some members to their national side that have really strengthened them. And we'll see if it's enough to hang with Jamaica here tonight. It's been a really good first day of competition across these U20 qualifiers. Every game has been decided by 1 goal, and we had a 2-2 draw between British Virgin Islands and Dominica in Costa Rica as well. Antigua and Barbuda, just a 1-0 victory over St. Lucia. We talked about the pair of 2-1 results on this pitch earlier today. Grenada also defeated St. Martin 2-1. So every game has been either 2-1, 1-0, or 2-2. Very competitive, very evenly matched so far. This is a game with a heavy favorite and a vast underdog, but again, we saw St. Kitts and Nevis almost come back to snatch a very unlikely point against Puerto Rico earlier today. As the sides line up, we'll hear our national anthems for these two nations and then see our starting 11s and bring you kickoff from Curacao. It's the 2026 Concacaf U20 qualifiers, Jamaica and Bonaire. Next.
And ladies and gentlemen, we now ask you to please stand as we first listen to the national anthem of Jamaica, followed by the national anthem of Bonaire.
national anthems of Jamaica and Bonaire before the Group B opener for these two nations here at the 2026 Concacaf U20 Qualifiers. Jamaica heavily favored to win this group and go through to the final round of qualifying in late July, but Bonaire will hope to cause a shock here tonight. Let's look at our starting 11s. First for Jamaica, who are the home side for this match. Joshua Grant in goal for them. Bent, Berger, Nolan, and Talbert across the back line. Howell, Douglas, Jump in the midfield. Leighton, Taylor, and McLean the front three for head coach and former senior reggae boy Rudolph Austin, who had quite a playing career of his own and now is rising through the ranks in the Jamaican Federation as a coach. Bonaire in their blue kits today. We'll take a look at their lineup in just a moment. It's Jamaica in their traditional green and gold. Of course, their senior men's national side still has a chance to qualify for the World Cup this summer as well in that Inter-Confederation playoff next month. We meet our match officials for this one tonight, led by our center referee Andrew Samuel, assisted by Kurt Charles and Soren Amalensi. Ismael Lopez of Mexico is the fourth official. Denyor Cecilia, the goalkeeper for Bonaire, wears the armband for them. Joshua Grant is the goalkeeper for Jamaica, and he is their captain. So, a rare game where the two goalkeepers both wear the armband for their respective teams. Looks like Jamaica have won the toss. Looks as though Bonaire will defend the goal to the left. Now the starting 11 for Bonaire as they try to cause a big shock today. Denyor Cecilia in goal for them. Muller, Clydesdale, Bacalar, and Cecilia across the back four. Pineda, Alexander, Van Rijn, Vliet, and Franz in the five-man midfield, and Merenciana is their striker in this 4-5-1 set up by Relove Yanga. It is indeed the third match of the day in this first day of competition at these U20 qualifiers, well set up by our public address announcer here in Curacao. Again, it's Bonaire in the blue, Jamaica in the gold and the green. It'll be Jamaica from right to left in this first half. There is the opening whistle from Andrew Samuel. Now we are rolling once again in Curacao. Last game of the evening on this first day of competition. Jamaica and Bonaire. Jamaica expected to go through. The weight of expectation, will that weigh on them at all? It is a mission for them to get to the U20 World Cup later this year. Again, this tournament also part of the qualification process for the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. And none of those places will be decided finally until late July, early August, but to get there, you have to win your group here first, and that's the road that Jamaica and Bonaire begin tonight. Jamaica on the attack. Looking to shoot from range initially was Dwayne Berger. Now out wide it goes, cross into the middle. Bonaire can't get it clear yet, and it falls for a right-footed effort that squirts wide. Did it take a deflection? It appeared that it did, and it will be the game's first corner just over a minute in. Played low to the top of the area. Stepping onto the left foot and playing it back out was Jamari Nolan. Across the pitch it goes, then headed toward the near post and taken by goalkeeper Denyor Cecilia. Jamaica, the highest seeded member of this Group B. They have a talent-rich roster, as you would expect. 2 players at Inter Miami, 1 at New York Red Bulls, 2. Toronto FC Academy represented. Here's an angled ball into the box and sprawled on by Cecilia. Jamaica have a player playing in Holland as well, as they force a turnover from the edge of the 18. Maneuvered onto his right foot by Jamari Nolan. Looking for space to deliver across. It's not there. It's tackled away. Bonaire looked to play it long. Force a 1v1 confrontation at the back. First touch then for Joshua Grant in goal for Jamaica. Offside flag was up. So free kick for Jamaica. Of course, a number of these Jamaican players playing for domestic academies and clubs. 3 at Cavalier FC, who made a memorable run in the Concacaf Champions Cup last year. You may remember they faced Lionel Messi and Inter Miami in the round of 16. Gave them a good battle as well across 2 legs. After winning the Caribbean Cup the prior year. 3 players on this roster as well from Mount Pleasant, one of the other leading clubs in Jamaica. And for Bonaire, one of the smallest municipalities in the Kingdom of the Netherlands, population of about 21,000. They are a special municipality of the Netherlands. Smallest territory in this group. Again, they have a few players that are playing in Dutch academies. They have a free kick here just inside their own half. Good movement from Jamaica down this right side. Important tackle there. Very well done by Ronaldinho Clydesdale. Fantastic name. Plays at Spartan 20s Academy. Now they look to put pressure on the Jamaican back line, but the header back from Deshaun Talbert to Joshua Grant is calmly done. There's a look at Relove Yanga, who played for the Bonaire senior men's national side years ago. Good build-up from Jamaica. They had a free man down the left side. Now they find him. It's Brandon Bent. Back to the end line and tackled out. This will be a corner. No, a foul against Bent and a free kick for Bonaire. Moro Cecilia involved. Did well to stay close and prevent the cross. Now free kick for Bonaire. We've done decently over these opening 7 minutes. And Brandon Bent called for 2 fouls inside 60 seconds. Bonaire trying to cause some difficulty on the edge of the area, and a chance with the left foot, and it's straight at the goalkeeper. It was an opportunity for Roangel Pineda. Couldn't steer it toward that far post. Well, just as we saw St. Kitts and Nevis not only compete, but really give Puerto Rico a very tough game earlier, Bonaire trying to do the same to Jamaica tonight. Still very early, but they've begun very well. Now the header forward. Now it's a muscle and a foot race. Bonaire can't get out yet. This is going to spin out for a corner for Jamaica. So the first corner of the night. In low. Good clearance away from Bonaire. It's actually the second corner that Jamaica have had in the early minutes. Remember, they had one about 70 seconds in. Nothing's come of them yet. Nothing's come of the opening 9 for Jamaica. Their head coach, Rudolph Austin, who had a distinguished playing career, took him as far as Leeds United in the English Championship back in those days. Won a couple titles in Jamaica as well. Here come his side now, bursting into the 18. A touch to the end line, and it runs out of play. Bit too much speed for Jabari Howell's own good there. He tried to pull that ball back. Yeah, Rudolph Austin, besides his time with the likes of S.K. Brown and Leeds United and Brøndby, he also played for Portmore United at the bookends of his career. 4 years at the beginning and then 3 years at the end. Jamaica run out of room on this attack as well with 10 minutes gone. Now it's back to the feet of Sean Layton, and Layton trying to get around that wall of blue. Can't do so. Flag is up now, and a free kick coming for Jamaica. Looks like they'll let play go on. Yeah, Rudolph Austin, with his career beginning at Portmore United in Jamaica and then ending with them almost 20 years after it began. His first year with Portmore United in 2005, his last year with them in 2024. Quite a career, and featured 84 times for Jamaica over the years. It's been a frustrating start for Jamaica. They've not really gotten going. Still plenty of time for them to do so, of course, but it's been an encouraging opening period for Bonaire. And that's what you need, of course, when you're big underdogs in a game. You have to start well, have to keep yourself in it in those opening minutes. Give yourself that belief that there's a chance you could get something. Here comes Jamaica again, though, and the finish errant. Had a player streaking down the middle. That was Giovanni Taylor, but Jaheim Douglas choosing to shoot on the half volley. So it's been a much quieter start for Jamaica than many would have expected. 13 minutes on the clock. They've not tested Bonaire's goalkeeper much yet. Will they now? Touch wasn't great. Renciana able to clear it away, and it's calm play on the ball by Joshua Franz. Jamaica nearly able to create something from that giveaway. Daniel Cecilia encouraging his teammates to be calm. We are seeing a bit of that Dutch style from Bonaire, not afraid to try to play out from the back. They're not just hoofing it long. Stijn van Rijn making himself a nuisance in the middle of the park for Bonaire. He's the number 13 in blue. Flying around, putting himself in the way, trying to bother this Jamaican build-up and doing pretty well. And the challenge for Bonaire will be to get enough bodies up in support of the attack when they get those opportunities. Free kick for Jamaica. Seen two very good games here today as we look at this foul again. Clear two-handed shove in the back from Mauro Cecilia. And we kicked off this afternoon with Turks and Caicos Islands against Cayman Islands. Cayman Islands grabbed the lead 10 minutes in, but Turks and Caicos turned it around. Goal in the 17th and a late winner in the 83rd. There were three very excellent strikes in that game as well. All three goals. Very high-quality finishes. And then we watched Puerto Rico narrowly hold off St. Kitts and Nevis by a 2-1 scoreline. That was a game where many expected Puerto Rico to be pretty comfortable. And even though they led 2-0 at halftime, it had not been a comfortable first half at all. St. Kitts and Nevis caused problems. Could have had a goal or two of their own. That's handball and a free kick for Jamaica. And then in the second half, having gotten themselves 2 goals in front, many would have thought that Puerto Rico would pull away and coast home. But again, not the case. St. Kitts and Nevis hung around, created some chances, and finally scored one in the 87th minute. Couldn't find the equalizer, but it was still a very admirable performance from them. Now Jamaica, as the heavy favorites, trying to look like it against Bonaire, but Bonaire have managed to frustrate them for the first quarter of an hour plus. And much like St. Kitts and Nevis earlier, they're showing some quality on the ball when they get a hold of it as well. Flag is up here for offside again. It's not much in the attack from Bonaire thus far, but the defending's been solid enough. Daniel Cecilia takes command of that. So Jamaica trying to get themselves going. Trying to use that speed down the flanks. It was a good ball sprayed wide, but it couldn't be taken in by Jabari Howell. Looks like we'll have a cooling break as there's a player down, and boy, that's the goalkeeper and captain for Jamaica, Joshua Grant, and that would be troubling news indeed if he were forced out of the game. Relove Yanga will be happy with how his side have competed so well in these opening 18 minutes. By Joshua Grant. Not able so far to put weight on that right leg. Let's see if he can now. Simeon Santiago is Janoy Stedman, along with Carlisle Tinglin, are the two substitute goalkeepers on the bench for Jamaica tonight. Joshua Grant, though, looks like he'll continue for now. Jamaica with a header towards goal, but Daniel Cecilia will take his time before collecting. Not a lot of cohesion in the attack for Jamaica over these opening 20 minutes. Bonaire, could they create something? The ball did not stay in play, so Rowan Hill Pineda has to give it up for a throw. So 20 minutes eclipsed. Jamaica and Bonaire as they began, 0-0. Jamaica a couple of half chances, but not nearly as much as might have been expected so far. It's a good switch out to the left. Jamaica throw. Taken by Brandon Bent. They haven't been able to get him free down this left wing very often. This will be a corner, though, for Jamaica, their third. Will be whipped in with the right. And it's a good delivery, and it's a good save. First time that Daniel Cecilia has had to make a real save in this match. Another one coming back in, and that's prodded wide. The outstretched foot couldn't redirect it on frame. Second attempt from Deshaun Talbert. But Cecilia had to be alert, and his reflexes sharp to keep that first one out. This was the second ball. That one didn't trouble Cecilia. The first one did, though. Had to be quick, down to his right. Here was the first save. It's a good one. Has to read it fast, get down to that right, play the bounce too, which isn't simple, especially on turf. Now this is a free kick for Bonaire at the other end. And Stijn van Rijn, who we mentioned a few minutes ago, throwing himself around in that midfield, has a chance to create an incisive ball here. Joshua Grant has had to make one save so far through the first quarter of this match. Van Rijn toward that back post area. Jamaica look to bring it away and use that speed in transition. Bonaire doing well to slow them up, though, and then they intercept. It goes out for a throw, and it belongs to Jamaica. But Jamaica, for a moment, looked like they were going to transition, and Bonaire clogged the passing lanes, closed down the space, forced Jamaica to stop and go backwards. It's been really good from Bonaire through the first quarter of this game. Oh, they had a chance to connect there and maybe create a 2v3. Pass was behind Thymir Alexander. This is where Bonaire have to be a bit careful. Game opening up a little, the pace quickening. This is what Jamaica want. Can they capitalize now? Whipped across the pitch toward this near side. Then into the box it goes. On the right foot, it takes a deflection. Some shouts for handball from Jamari Nolan, who played the pass. Now it's intercepted again and played in for a 1v1, and it's another stop. The best so far from Danior Cecilia, still alive. Now bouncing on the edge of the 18. Jamaica look to rewind. Back in toward the back post and flicked off the post. Second ball, they score. Jamaica grabbed the breakthrough. In the 25th minute, they hadn't threatened nearly as much as they expected early on. But a sudden flurry, and they find the back of the net through Sean Layton. It's a great cross to the back post. Goalkeeper may have gotten something on it to deflect it onto that far stick. Does he make a save here? I think so, but can't do anything about the rebound as it sits up invitingly for Sean Layton, who heads it home, and some relief for Jamaica. Having struggled in the early 20 minutes or so, just mentioned the game starting to open up and the pace quickening, and that was a bit ominous for Bonaire. And so it proved. So Layton, the first on the score sheet in this tournament for Jamaica, and now they could grab a second. A back pass was ill-advised. Now they perhaps had a half shout for a penalty, although nobody in gold really appealed for one. Well, tough to keep a side with the talent of Jamaica down for very long, and Bonaire had managed to make the game very quiet for 20 minutes. But no longer. Flag is up again against Bonaire. So see if that goal allows Jamaica to settle into more of a rhythm. They're certainly having more and more of the ball and starting to pin Bonaire in. That's driven in an attempt at a cross, rolls straight through on Cecilia instead. Jamaica with a throw on that far touchline. Lumped into the box, but not very accurately, and a goal kick coming up. Well, Relove Yanga's boys battling well. He'll be a little annoyed at the way they conceded that goal. You can see he is. Having done so well in the opening period of the game. Rudolph Austin, maybe not super pleased with how his side have played for this first 30 minutes, but getting the results so far. Jamaican senior men's national side, of course. The rich history in the Caribbean. It's a good tackle, and Bonaire trying to keep this play alive, and they're attacking third. It's really good work on that far side of the pitch. And now the whistle stops that, as that's a foul against Hafet Vlight. Well, this was terrific from Roangel Pineda to keep it alive for a bit. And then Vlight, too much of a shove. The Reggae Boys, of course, their first international match just over 100 years ago. Actually coming up on 100 years. March 22nd, 1925. They beat Haiti 2-1. So that'll be 100 years ago. Almost exactly a month from now. Nobody really arriving on that back post area, at least not initially. Now this is going to be an attacking throw for Bonaire. Long throw coming from Timothy Muller. Now Bonaire a little stretched. 1v3, a second joining the attack for Jamaica as we play a half an hour. Leighton in the 25th, the lone goal so far. This will be a free kick. And the first booking, too. Looks like Joshua Franz. Yeah, Franz with the pullback. First yellow card of the match. And a promising free kick for Jamaica. Well, Jaheim Douglas still feeling that.
Ladies and gentlemen, clear caution on the side of the
Douglas back up. One of those players who plays for Mount Pleasant. Senior Reggae Boys, though, a member of FIFA since 1962. Been in the World Cup once, of course, back in 1998. Had that 2-1 win against Japan that we spoke about earlier today. Two-time Concacaf Gold Cup runners-up in 2015 and 17. Best finishes by any Caribbean nation in the tournament. Six-time Caribbean Cup winners. Hoping to get to a U20 World Cup later this year. Have to get through this qualifying round first. Free kick, not the best. Cecilia grabs. Jamaica working it around the perimeter. probe that right side. Bonaire have that covered. This will be a throw. Toward that near post. Flicked up in the air. Still danger here for Bonaire. Inkling of a thought of a bicycle kick there from the Jamaican attacker for a moment. Wide it goes again for Howell. Howell still curling it in. Great delivery. Save was made. Denyor Cecilia keeps it out somehow with his feet, I think. His teammates scramble it further away. Again, these are these frantic transitions that Bonaire don't want to be involved in if they can avoid it. Another yellow is coming. It's going to be their second of the match. This time it's Ivar Bacalar. Yeah, can't have many complaints about that. Straight through the back of the player. Little care needed from Giovanni Taylor there as he got up. He was certainly fouled heavily. The yellow card was deserved, but came up with a little swing with that elbow, whether that was deliberate or not. Never want to leave the referee with a decision to make on something like that, but free kick for Jamaica. Jabari Howell around it. It is Howell who will take, and Howell whips it over and wide. So we're in the final 10 minutes of the opening 45. Jamaica ahead, as many expected they would be. Hasn't been quite as straightforward as some might have expected. Toward the top of the 18, Bonaire had a man there. Can they get something going in transition? Not really. Some shouts for a foul, but challenge was fair enough from Brandon Bent. Now here they come, looking for the second goal. It's another fine save. Denyor Cecilia with his feet again. Keeps Bonaire in this for now. Fine look-away through ball from Giovanni Taylor for Jaheim Douglas. This is kept in play well by Jabari Howell. Running to the back line, beating a man, pulling it back. Tempo better from Jamaica lately. That's a foul, and this might be another booking. It is a third of this opening half. This one to Zyric Maranciana. Yeah, very late, needless.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the 38th minute, another yellow card shown to the player of Bonaire. Receiving the yellow is number 11, Frantic.
Bonaire have had just a couple moments of fleeting danger. They had the one look as they're called for a foul here, and Morenciano, having just gone into the book, has to be careful that he doesn't take a second yellow for dissent. It's not a lot of contact, but he does put his hand on the back of the defender, and anytime you do that, there's always the chance that the whistle's going to go against you. Can't risk a second yellow. That's good alertness, quickness off his line by Cecilia, who's had a fine first half. Didn't have a lot to do for most of the first 20 minutes, Denyer Cecilia. He's had to make several saves since. Couldn't do anything about the rebound that was put home by Sean Layton in the 25th minute, but has helped Bonaire weather the storm and at least stay within a goal as we approach halftime. Bonaire looked like they might intercept that. They will have a throw. Love Yanga, hoping his side can at least get to halftime just a goal down. Saw St. Kitts and Nevis earlier today stay in the game and keep that belief, and it almost paid off for them late. Jamaica able to win that battle in the midfield, though. Lifted forward. Sean Layton, the goal scorer, able to settle. Deep cross. Fine outside of the foot flick, keeping it alive for Jamaica. Movement of the ball much better in the second half of this opening half. Bonaire not able to keep hold of it for very long, and that's a save forced on Cecilia. It was Deshaun Talbert taking it out of the air and half volleying it without hesitation on frame. Good effort. Fine technique there. Now Jamaica using that speed again. They have space. Ball in front and somehow wide. It's going to be a corner, so that means it must have been a save by Denyor Cecilia. Must have gotten that right boot on it, and that is a fine save indeed, if that's the case. Let's see. Suddenly they were away down this left side. Howell, and yeah, he gets something on it with that foot. So then the corner is driven long, and a free header at the back stick. Did it cross the line? Now it did. It's a goal for Jamaica. Well, they defended so well in the first half, Bonaire, but not good defending there. And Jamaica double their lead just before halftime. Well, they left the man free at the back stick. And then they couldn't keep it out on the goal line. We'll see who gets credit for it. Jamaica widened their advantage before the break. Well, Jamaica now trying to race over the horizon before halftime. Brandon Bent. That's a fine ball. Chested down. Trying to get the strike away, and it's blocked. Well, Jamari Nolan did very well to take it down and get something on it. Much more control and confidence from Jamaica since they grabbed that opener in the 25th, and then taking advantage of some looser defending from Bonaire to score their second from a set piece. Over the top this goes. It might be in for a third. Goalkeeper got something on it. Second ball arriving. It's off the line. Well, the goalkeeper was beaten. His defender wasn't. It stays at 2 for Jamaica for now. Approaching first half stoppage time. Fourth official Ismail Lopez will show us how many more minutes will be played momentarily. Jamaica combining well again on this left. And the square ball, not the best. 2 additional minutes added on to the end of this first half. Jamaican free kick with 90 seconds to go. And blasted with the right foot, and that's a decent effort, but rising over the bar. This will be a late free kick for Bonaire in the final minute of this opening half. Well, here was the second goal. It just crept in at that near post. Miscommunication between the goalkeeper and his defender. I wasn't sure how that snuck through at first glance. You can see the despair from Denyor Cecilia, who had otherwise played such a fine first half. He thought his defender was going to block it. Defender thought the goalkeeper was going to make it his, and neither did in the end. Final action of this first half. That was apparently kept in play very acrobatically. Defended by Bonaire, though. We've had the 2 minutes at the end of the half. Jamaica allowed one more attack. That breaks down, and it's a check of the watch from Andrew Samuel. And there is halftime. And so Jamaica started a bit sluggishly by their standards, but worked their way into it, found the go-ahead goal in the 25th from Sean Layton, and then past the 40-minute mark, they grabbed a second from a set piece credited to Talbert. And so with 2 goals in the bag and currently at the top of Group B as things stand on goal differential, it's Jamaica headed into the break with the advantage. Things that they'll know they can do better. Bonaire did well for long stretches, but then guilty of a miscommunication mistake to allow that second goal. 45 minutes gone, 45 to go in this Group B opener for these two sides here at the Concacaf U20 qualifiers. It is Jamaica 2, Bonaire 0. Well, Jamaica doing what they need to so far through 45 minutes in their opener here in Group B at the Concacaf U20 Qualifiers here in 2026. Bonaire gave a good account of themselves in the first half and really frustrated Jamaica for long stretches of this first half, but ultimately Jamaica's talent and ability to persist paid off over the opening 45. This was an early scamper for the goalkeeper, Denyor Cecilia. He was fast off his line a number of times in this first half. Wound up having to make about a half a dozen important saves. Bonaire had one chance in the first half, and it fell here for a decent effort with the left foot by Roangel Pineda. But he didn't really catch it as sweetly as he would have liked, and wasn't able to guide it toward that far post. Simple save for Joshua Grant, his only one of the first half. And Jamaica didn't create a lot for the first 20 minutes plus. And Bonaire kept the tempo of the game pretty low. But Jamaica were able to find a way to open things up. And then they found the opening goal in the 25th minute. After an initial save, touching it onto that far post, it appeared, Cecilia. That ball sat up invitingly for the finish by Sean Layton, who put Jamaica ahead at last in the 25th minute. And then there would be a series of yellow cards against Bonaire. This first one shown to Joshua Franz for that tug from behind. And then the second one here to Ivar Bacalar. So 2 cards in just a couple minutes for Bonaire. They would have a third as well before the end of the first half. But then in the 43rd minute, Jamaica scored the second goal. Miscommunication at the near post by Bonaire. Defender and goalkeeper both thought the other was going to take it. Neither did, and it snuck across the line. It was put decisively into the back of the net by Giovanni Taylor, but the goal awarded to Deshaun Talbert, and so 2-0 to the Reggae Boys. So we'll see if they can consolidate this win in the second half, or if Bonaire can find their way back into it. Our second 45 comes your way from Curaçao in just a moment, with Jamaica leading by 2-0.
Once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for this group of players. They win the Concacaf Under-20 championship.
This broadcast is copyrighted by Concacaf for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this broadcast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the consent of Concacaf is strictly prohibited.
players. They win the Concacaf Under-20 championship. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for this group of players. They win the Concacaf Under-20 championship.
Moving into the second half in Curacao, a 2-0 lead for Jamaica over Bonaire. Changes coming for either side, it appears, coming out of halftime. Looks as though Bonaire are going to send on Noah Martha and Ravion Simon. Looks like Leonardo Peters might check in as well, so triple change perhaps. It's a short bench for Bonaire. Only have 6 outfield players available on the bench at the start of this game. For Jamaica, it is Giovanni Taylor coming off and Oral Miller on. They also bring on Jamoy Dennis. Thymir Alexander, one of the players who comes off for Bonaire. So a total of 5 changes, 3 for Bonaire and 2 for Jamaica coming out of the break. And Jamaica heavy favorites. Bonaire will kick things off in the second half. They're in the blue. And they go from right to left in half number 2. Jamaica doing what's expected so far score-wise. Bonaire kept them quiet for about 20 minutes or so at the start of the game. Did well, but Jamaica creating 2 moments in the 25th and 43rd minutes. Jabari Howell, another player who's off for Jamaica, coming out of half. Saw Ravian Simon coming on for Thymir Alexander for Bonaire. Morenciana, another player who will watch the second half. Rowan Pineda, the other player who makes way for Bonaire. So that's the triple change for them. Jamaica trying to widen that lead early in this second half. And they poke it through toward this end line area. It's a good shoulder to take it out of play. That's great control along the touchline. Jamaica showing more of that flair now, and the layoff was decent. Burst of pace, and then it's across the end line. This will be a corner for Jamaica. Whip delivery to the back post over everyone's head. It was good run by Deshaun Talbert, who scored their second goal late in the first half. Jamaica persisting, looking for that third. Bonaire weren't able to create much in the first half. Had the one shot on target from Rowan Pineda, who was one of the players who came off at halftime. It's a free kick. Jafet Vlight. Fouling Jaheim Douglas. Bonaire, a Concacaf member since 2014. Not a FIFA member. Their football federation's been around since 1960. Became a provisional member of Concacaf in 2013 before becoming a full member the following year. Strong tackle by Stijn van Rijn, who's played well. Bonaire had something in transition for just a moment there. They still might. Van Rijn with the ball forward. Now shouts for a foul, and they get one. And the first card for Jamaica of the night as well. One of those halftime substitutes, Jamoy Dennis. got something of the ball, but got a lot of the player, too, right in front of the Bonaire bench.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the 16th minute, player caution at the side of Jamaica, receiving the yellow card, number 11, Bonaire.
Free kick driven in. Bonaire have hardly had an opportunity to create something from a set piece today. Now a Jamaican free kick. Tackles getting a little ragged on either side. 4 players on bookings currently. Although Morenciano, one of the players cautioned in the first half, subbed off. So 2 players on the field with a yellow for Bonaire. And that tackle by Noah Martha. So in with the left foot. Joshua Grant's hardly touched it today. Had the one save in the first half. Van Rijn with another good tackle. He thought he was fouled then. Jamaica connecting well between the lines. Then the shot was blocked. It was back with Leighton. Then to the far side. Good save. Pushed out by Cecilia, who keeps it a 2-goal game for now. Jamari Nolan, who had the chance fall to him, and Cecilia's been really good other than that near-post goal that crept in against him late in the first half. Bonaire trying to get themselves forward a bit more as they chase this game now. The foul ends that sequence. This was Brandon Bent defending for Jamaica against Leonardo Peters. Intercepted by Douglas. Whistle went. Free kick for Bonaire. Nearly 10 minutes gone in this second half. They've made it difficult for Jamaica. I think of the 2 goals Jamaica have scored, one on the scramble from a rebound. And then the header from the corner that snuck in the near post thanks to miscommunication between two defenders. Bonaire will be really disappointed that that second goal went in particular. Leighton in the 25th, though, and Talbert in the 43rd. Jamaica have had some good sequences, maybe not as many as they would have liked in their opening match, but generating the results so far. Remember, only the group winners go through to the final round of qualifying. Jamaica very much favored to be that group winner here in Group B, but have to get through 5 matches and be at the top of the heap at the end of those. And they look for their third. It's another block. Bonaire looking to finally get forward. They have a bit of a 1v1 at the back here. Back onto it, looking for some support now at the edge of the area. Some shouts for a penalty. Referee not interested in those. Bonaire win it back, though. A little bit of momentum for them. Their player still down on the edge of the area. Now lots of space out wide. Haven't been able to deliver many crosses in. Instead, they play it short toward the end line. And off the underside of the bar. What a hit that was. And it stays out for Bonaire. It will be a corner as they nearly grabbed one back out of nowhere. Well, the angle was against him. It really didn't matter. Look how well he hits this. With the left even. From that angle, that would have been an absurd goal. Boy, Timothy Muller just leathered it. And he's unlucky. Off the underside of the bar. Sometimes those come down in the goal, but not that time, of course. I'm not sure many expected him to go directly for goal from that angle, especially with his left foot. This is Ravian Simon, who is still down after taking that challenge at the edge of the box a moment ago. Well, a warning for Jamaica, even though they've been seemingly cruising and in control of this game. That was the case for Puerto Rico a bit earlier today. Didn't find that third goal, and St. Kitts and Nevis kept on pressing and finally got one back and created a tense finish. So now a corner, and it's driven in low, looking for the flick on, and they nearly got it. Jamaica throw. Bonaire so nearly back in the game a moment ago. They looked pretty tidy on the ball for the first 20 minutes or so. Had that one moment where they created the opportunity for Angel Pineda. So there were signs that they could do something in the attack, but focused so much on frustrating Jamaica. Now having to open up a little bit in the second half, and again showing that they can create something. But anytime they get caught in the middle of the park like that, Jamaica are dangerous, of course. Dwayne Berger, floating one above the 18. Now Jamaica, acceleration to the end line. This will be a corner for them. Bonaire don't really have an answer or anybody to fully match up with Brandon Bent when he gets the ball and can run at the defense like that. Both sides ready to make further changes now as Christopher Lammers comes on for Bonaire. For Jamaica, Raekwon Campbell-Dennis, one of the players who will come on for Jamari Nolan. Marlon van de Wettering will replace Dwayne Berger. Marlon de Wettering plays in the FC Eindhoven Academy. O'Dane Wilberforce checks in for Sean Layton as well. Layton credited with the second goal for Jamaica, so his night is done. Now the corner for the Reggae Boys, driven through everyone and out. It's going to be a throw deep in that corner for Bonaire.
And at the side of Jamaica, player coming on with number 15, O'Dane Wilberforce, replacing number 12, Sean Layton. Also coming on, playing number 16, Raekwon Campbell-Dennis.
Jamaica winning it in the middle of the park. Out of the end line, that deflects off the side netting. They're looking for a corner, Jamaica. They don't get one. Oral Miller came on a little while ago, involved on that left side. Appeared to be the correct decision. Didn't appear to be a deflection. Again, earlier today, 2-1 victories for Puerto Rico over St. Kitts and Nevis, and for Turks and Caicos Islands over Cayman Islands. We saw a comeback from Turks and Caicos Islands after falling behind early, turning it around to win 2-1. We saw St. Kitts and Nevis nearly come back unexpectedly against Puerto Rico after falling behind 2-0. Just 2-0 to Jamaica here. So it's been a very competitive day on this first day of the U20 qualifiers. Mentioned some other games from this tournament in other groups, also very close. Talked about Grenada beating St. Martin just 2-1. Antigua and Barbuda with a 1-0 win over St. Lucia. Turks and Caicos mentioned their 2-1 win over Cayman Islands. Here comes Jamaica now, seeking that third once again by that end line, kept out at the near post, still loose, and then gathered up by Denyor Cecilia. Did well to spin around and find that ball. The other game that happened earlier today, British Virgin Islands and Dominica played to a 2-2 draw, so extremely competitive all the way around today on this first day of competition. 32 nations involved. Only 6 will advance to that final qualifying tournament in late July. Game opening up again. Now on the right side, it's Oral Miller, and Miller's cutback not effective enough on this occasion. Jamaica doing well to find the spaces between the lines. They come again now. Looking for the interchange, but Marlon van de Wettering was intercepted and blocked off. Bonaire created a couple opportunities. That's neat feet and spread across to the right side. Well, it forced Leonardo Peters to give chase, and then his ball to the near post collected by Joshua Grant. Those 2 first-half goals holding up for Jamaica so far through Leighton and Talbert. That is Deshaun Talbert, the scorer of that second goal. So Talbert back up. See if his night might be done, or if he'll come back on for the final 23 minutes plus stoppage time. Now Bonaire, Jamaica a little stretched. This is where Bonaire have struggled to connect forward, though. Well, some miscommunication there. Goalkeeper was coming out, Joshua Grant. His teammate felt he had to play it. So it'll be a throw for Bonaire. Well, it continues to be a competitive showing from Bonaire. The only things they'll be disappointed in are the way they've conceded the 2 goals, especially the second one. Not created a ton in the attack, but that would have been the expectation in a game where you knew they were going to have to defend for much of it. Ooh, that squirts between Denier Cecilia for a moment. He's had a good game, too, with the exception of that second goal. You could apply that across this entire team. A handful of good saves. We've seen that Dutch influence, though, on Bonaire. That comfort in possession. It'd be don't quite have the weapons to open Jamaica up regularly, but certainly a good technical level and good organization as well off the ball. So into the final 20 minutes and the third of this Group B triple header today on the opening day of this U20 qualifying tournament. Well, this is gotten to by the end line. Chance for the third goal for Jamaica, and there it is. Finished off beautifully. Arriving at just the right time was Raekwon Campbell-Dennis. The cutback directly into his path, and he sweeps it home. And the Reggae Boys just about home and dry in this one. 3 goals at least. 3 points on the way for Jamaica in their Group B opener. All the hard work done by their substitute Marlon van de Wettering, who did so well to get around the edge and lay it into the path of Raekwon Campbell-Dennis.
And ladies and gentlemen, in the 71st minute, goal for the team of Jamaica. The goal scorer is number 16, Raekwon Campbell-Dennis. The score is now Jamaica 3, Bonaire 0.
So Jamaica, after the 2 goals in the first half, grabbed that third goal in the 72nd minute. And appear to have decisively confirmed the direction of the 3 points. Ravian Simon on the ground for Bonaire. This is their last substitution. It's Levi Martha.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the 73rd minute, substitution at the side of Bonaire. Coming on the field, playing with number 16, Levi Martha, and playing with number 2,
Mauro Cecilia is the player taken off. That would appear to be all 5 substitutions for Bonaire, and they could have an issue here with Simon, who was a substitute himself early in the second half. Space is opening up for Jamaica now. They could grab more. It was a cheeky idea. Jamoy Dennis tried the little back heel layoff. Still alive here. Another back heel attempt, this time going for the run of O'Dane Wilberforce. Reggae Boys have a chance to turn on the style in these final 15 minutes. Jamaica 2 in the first half. Leighton in the 25th. Talbot in the 43rd. Campbell Dennis then adding the third just a few minutes ago. And they still crave more. Here's Wilberforce. And left the ball behind. A little bit of space for Bonaire and some numbers forward. That hasn't happened often for them tonight. When it has, they've generally not been able to make the most of it. Van de Wettering. Already one assist in this second half and looking for a second and still might get it. And then the foul goes against Jamaica. Oh, a clash of heads, and that's always concerning as play is stopped. Certainly a painful-looking one. Ravion Simon has had a couple of these over the last few minutes. Player down for Bonaire. Looks to be Deshaun Talbot involved for Jamaica. It is. So Ravion Simon making the walk-off. Looks like Earl Dennis getting ready to check in late for Jamaica. So he does come on for Talbot. He was credited with that goal late in the first half. So into the game, the ball is immediately dropped for him. Foul against Jamaica as we tick toward the last 10 minutes of this one. Bonaire, can they grab a consolation goal? Levi Martha. That came off him last, I think. Yeah. Throw for Jamaica.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the 79th substitution on the side of Jamaica.
Ooh, big challenge there. Referee stopping play. Both players not in a good way after that. Hafet Vlight, the player went sliding in a bit recklessly, it looked like, for Bonaire. Oh, looks like a red card's been shown. Well, Jamoy Dennis was on a yellow already, and looks like he makes the walk. Well, an unexpected twist. It does not appear that it will influence the overall outcome of this match, but an annoyance for Jamaica, as Dennis would be suspended for the next game too, of course. Here is the showing of the second yellow. So Jamaica up 3 goals. They are down a man for the last 7 minutes plus stoppage time, of which there might be a decent amount. We've had a couple of lengthy injury stoppages in the last 10 minutes in particular. Floated in from Bonaire, and it's simple for Joshua Grant. Jamaica could be in. Goalkeeper off his line and out of his area, and gets away with it. Offside flag is raised. Oh, boy, the challenge is flying in now. He certainly gets the ball, takes out the player thoroughly as well, Levi Martha. Bonaire trying to attack the 10 of Jamaica. This will be a goal kick, as Jamaica now will probably be content to see this out and get back to the hotel room with minimal fuss, if possible. Already heading to the top of the group on goal difference as things stand. Thanks to first half goals from Leighton and Talbert and a second half tally from Campbell Dennis. Game here getting very scrappy and fragmented, to say the least. Christopher Lammers, the latest to be whistled for a foul. Cross in from that left side. Goalkeeper there. These bounces can be tricky on this turf. We've spoken about that today. Not the simplest for goalkeepers sometimes. Daniel Cecilia generally has had a very good game. Stein van Rijn. Ronaldinho Clydesdale. All the way through for Joshua Grant. Cramps definitely becoming an issue. That's Jaheim Douglas, who's been on the entire game for Jamaica. Stein van Rijn felt he got a stray arm across the face before he was called for the foul. Bonaire looking for a late consolation and struck with the right. That was a decent chance at the top of the 18. On the half volley, Ravian Simon taking it on. It was deflected, will be a corner. It's a good knockdown. Actually came off the Jamaican head, didn't it? And then the partial block. Jamaica playing with 10 after the second yellow to Jamoy Dennis. Corner lifted to the top of the 6. Collisions continue to fly around all over the pitch. Another free kick coming for Bonaire. How much second half stoppage time will we have here? Fourth official Ismael Lopez will tell us momentarily. Four minutes is the answer.
Ladies and gentlemen, the score is 2 minutes
So still time for Bonaire to grab something, even though Jamaica have the 3 points secured. Ravian Simon ready to take against a 3-man wall, and Simon lifting it far too high. Jamaica haven't attacked very much since going down to 10, understandably. Haven't needed to. Already with the 3 goals. Plenty of things they can improve on, I'm sure they'll feel, with their head coach Rudolph Austin. But getting the result, the most important thing, especially in international soccer in a short tournament. Still a chance for Bonaire to grab something. Oh, was that handball? Big shouts for handball from Bonaire. Not going to be given, apparently. Right here. Well, arm could be judged to be down in a natural position. Certainly did appear to strike it. That doesn't necessarily mean it's handball, of course. Not going to influence the total outcome of this game. That is certainly one that at higher levels VAR would be taking a long, hard look at. On the edge of the area, more shouts from Bonaire. It squirts through to Joshua Grant. I think that'll be an official save and shot on target. This was a nice run, splitting defenders and getting something away. Hafet Vliet. Jamaica keeping the clean sheet with a minute to go. One more foul in this game with 30 seconds to play. Hasn't been a nasty game, but it's certainly been a physical one. Jamaica ending it with 10, but ending it with 3 points. Final attack for Bonaire. Into the box it goes, and the header goes wide. They've been able to create a couple favorable situations late on, but that'll do it for tonight. Referee Andrew Samuel brings things to a close. At a 3-point start to this tournament for Jamaica and for the Reggae Boys. A 3-goal performance. Maybe not their best. Bonaire had a lot to do with that. They frustrated them for the first part of the first half and played well in general, but Jamaica had too much in the end. Leighton in the 25th, Talbert in the 43rd, Campbell Dennis rounding things off in the 71st. There was the late double yellow and red card to Jamoy Dennis, but it did not influence the destination of the points tonight. So Jamaica sit atop the table in Group B after one round of matches today, as our third match of the day in Group B here in Curaçao tonight ends with a final score of Jamaica 3, Bonaire 0.
For now, on behalf of Concacaf, we thank you very much for coming and showing your support to the Under-20 Qualifier series right here in the Stadion Regional Jean Francisco. Good luck to both teams. Good luck to Bonaire and Jamaica. Once again, a big round of applause for both teams. for an awesome match as they played their opener today. Final score once again, Jamaica 3, Bonaire 0. As you're saying to yourself, feliz noche, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow evening.
Well, a solid 3 points for Jamaica to open their Group B campaign here at the Concacaf U20 Qualifiers in 2026. It was a solid effort from Bonaire, big underdogs, the lowest seeded nation in this group, but they showed some good quality in this game, certainly showed some good defensive organization, especially for the first portion of the first half. Kept the scoreline down, had a few opportunities of their own at the other end. They especially had one early on, falling to the left foot here of Roangel Pineda, but not able to hit it as well as he would have liked, and it was a fairly straightforward save for Joshua Grant. Jamaica took a while to get going, and credit to Bonaire for a lot of that. But eventually there was a sequence where Jamaica were able to up the tempo, and Bonaire got a little bit out of control, and that was when Jamaica were able to grab the opening goal in the 25th minute. It was a cross toward the back post, headed against the post, and then headed home on the rebound. Sean Layton on hand, in the right place, and finishing well. And Jamaica a sigh of relief in the 25th minute as they grabbed the 1-0 advantage. There was a sequence of yellow cards later in the first half. Joshua Franz was the first into the book, and then a yellow card right after that for Ivar Bacalar for that going through the back of the player tackle. One of 3 cards that was handed out in the first half to Bonaire. In the 43rd minute, the second goal arrived. This was the one moment for Bonaire that they'll regret tonight. Just miscommunication at that stick. Goalkeeper and defender both thought the other would have it, and neither did, and wound up in the net. And 2-0 Jamaica at halftime then. That felt like the game mostly dusted in terms of it being a contest. Bonaire had some decent moments in the attack, but weren't able to get enough into it. There was this yellow card shown to Jamoy Dennis, and that would become relevant about 10 minutes after that. Jamaica, though, first would grab that third goal. They had some opportunities to do it prior. This was a good save by Denyor Cecilia, who made about a half a dozen of them tonight at least. It was one of the reasons Bonaire were able to keep this a very competitive game throughout. But Jamaica introducing some substitutes. Their deep bench was able to create chances throughout the second half. This one at the near post, able to be gathered by Cecilia after he found the loose ball. But eventually that third goal would arrive. And it was good work, good strength initially by the substitute Marlon van de Wettering, who then swept it into the path of Raekwon Campbell-Dennis, who finished first time and very confidently and deftly. And that was game, set, and match for Jamaica. 3-0, 3 points. And a goal worthy of celebrations. There was a second yellow shown to Jamoy Dennis. After that heavy coming together, he was sent off. And so Jamaica had to finish the game with 10 men. But it didn't matter, as Bonaire weren't able to find a goal, and Jamaica find the 3 points. So after one complete day of action in Group B, it is Jamaica atop the table, as they were expected to be, but still 4 matches to go for everyone involved. Still lots that can happen, and Jamaica showed tonight they're not totally invincible. Had some shaky moments a few times, so Puerto Rico will probably give them a good test. Turks and Caicos looked good, and even in defeat, there were sides that competed very well today. So a great day of action. We hope you've enjoyed it throughout. For our entire great production team, I'm Donnie Barnes, saying good night from Curacao, where again it finishes in the nightcap this evening in Group B at the 2026 CONCACAF U20 Qualifiers. Jamaica 3, Bonaire 0.